For anyone who isn't familiar with the concept, a recursive translation is when something is taken from one language, translated to at least one more, and then converted back to the source language. The results can be quite interesting. Anyway, let's go.
Green Arrow. When Thea and Laurel visit them and tell Oliver that they need his help to return to the Star City, the lucky escape of Oliver and Felicity is short-lived. The city was attacked by ghosts, by a dangerous man named Damien the Dark. However, when Oliver returned, Digel revealed that he did not want Oliver to join the team. Candidate. When a longtime friend, Jessica Danfoss, told Oliver and Thea that she was running a major, the two princesses were worried that the last three had been shot. Despite their protest, Jessica announced the shooting and vowed to preserve her home. At the same time, Thea Lazarus started to show the effect of the lake. Further, Felicity faces a difficult decision and asks for help from one of her workers, Curtis Holt. Refreshment. Oliver and Digel follow the development of Damien the Dark Knight and Hive Yanren. At the same time, Laurel, returning to Nanda Parbat, asked her father to place Sarah in the pit of Lazarus. But when Laurel refused to do so, he was astonished. Above salvation. Laurel must face the consequences of Sarah Nanda Parbat. At the same time, Oliver apologized to Captain Lance, although he was not surprised at the general reaction of Lancer. He wondered what happened afterwards. Haunted. In a better sound condition, Oliver turned to John Constantine, an old friend who played the part of the Mystic. It causes distraction. When Felicity finds out that Ray is still alive and under the control of Damien Dark, he's crazy. Felicity felt guilty because she had not found Ray before, which caused a dispute between her and Oliver. At the same time, Sarah, along with Lauro, Thea, and the crowd, help Ray fulfill his mission. But the blow of Lazarus Pit takes over, and the whole operation may be endangered. Donna Smoke returns to the Star City. Yesterday's story. Oliver and Barry Allen brought Saunders Center and Carter Hall to a remote location, and the Vandals attempted to defeat Savage. Malcolm arranged a meeting between the Vandals, Arrow, and Flash, but did not proceed on purpose. At the same time, Felicity, Thea, Digel, and Laurel joined the Flash team to design the most powerful weapons that Vandals are destroying. Blackwater. After the city was again attacked, Oliver bravely accepted the fight. Malcolm checked the team and gave him a warning. When Damien Darkus was heavily rewarded with the faction of Oliver's mayor, things turned into worse. Blood guilt. Oliver must assure the consequences of wasting the last duck attack. In order to take revenge, Oliver attacked the Savage game and asked Dahak AWOL. When Shadow Spire's agents, the training criminal's former enemy during the war, visited Star City, the Digger had to learn to trust his brother Andy. However, they learned more from Digel than they did during the war. At the same time, Oliver needs to learn a new way of life. Without a chain. Apple has earned a reputation for being a valid team. At the same time, Nisha plays for her, and Roy Harper returns to Star City. The sins of the father. Oliver accepted the experimental proposal, which was difficult to refuse. Meanwhile, Thea continues the bloody battle, and Malcolm comes to help his daughter. Laurel had an honest conversation with Nisha. Dumb code. Oliver and the staff of Hive, they announced that Team Arrow will always be released. The next attack on Hive, Lance wondered if Donna's life was safer without him. At the same time, as the wedding approached, Oliver began to feel guilty for not telling Felicity about her son. Hunting. Oliver realized that he needed help in a fight with Damien, his so-called old friend, Smart, by means of a magical ability to summon animal powers. The Vixen was locked in Damien's place, and the sailors began to fight. At the same time, Thea had a harmonious conversation with Malcolm. Broken heart. Sadly, Cupid returned to the Star City with the intention of destroying all lovers. The group had learned that the young couple had killed on the wedding day, and so Oliver and Felicity decided to make a pretense of food. The Lighthouse of Hope. After being released from prison, Barry turned to LeBron at Palmer Tech and threatened to kill someone unless he inserted a biochip in Felicity's spine. When Oliver realized that Felicity, Team, and Norm, along with others, had been arrested in Palmer's technology, he turned to his stunned partner to help the crew save the day. 11 and 59. Oliver and John learned that Malcolm would try to get Damien out of jail. At the same time, Laurel received a wonderful offer. The Shout of the Canary. Oliver and the crew accept Laurelli's death a lot, especially Digger, and are horrified by the guilt of choosing what Andy thought had changed. At the same time, Lance refuses to believe that his daughter has truly been abandoned and asks Manissa to help him find her. It would seem that recent observations about Black Canary in Star City could only prove that the Laurel had no theory that he was actually dead. Genesis. When Oliver and Felicity look to the magic solution to defeat Darkham, the Avenger Digger takes Andy and begins to replace his brother. At the same time, Alex took the team while on vacation, but quickly became a dream. The Monument's location. When the Dark Arrows team learned of Damien's next move, Felicity realized that Cutler was asking for help from his father, Noel. The rest of the family, having turned to Oliver, spoiled Oliver. They perish by the flood. After a shocking incident in the previous episode, Oliver and Digger ran to to save the team, while Felicity, Curtis, and Noah join forces with Dark. Discord. Oliver is associated with a wonderful force, while Damien tries to stop the Darks and his magic once and for all. City Center Savior. After 1, Barry Allen decided to defend the city alone until he was attacked by a redhead called Atom Smasher. 2 World Standard. A strange alien from Earth 2, Jay Garrick, appears in the Star Lab with horrible warnings about rapid growth trying to destroy the brightness. Corrupt Family. When Barry and Tim find out that Captain Cold has been kidnapped, they form an unhappy alliance with his sister Lisa Sennett. Fury of the Storm. Barry and the team are looking for another Firestorm game for Professor Martin Stein, but Caitlin Snow rejects it when they meet Jefferson Jax Jackson. Darkness and Light. Dr. Wright enters the harbor, and Barry goes out to arrest him, but when he fights Flash, he covers his eyes and tells him horrible news about Zoom. Import Coming. Barry plans a risky plan to win Zoom. Caitlin is on Jay's side and thinks he's too dangerous, but Iris West shows his support for a good friendship. Gorilla War. While Gorilla Grodd chases Caitlin, Barry and the team rush to find him before it's too late. Patty Spebo suspects that Barry is hiding something from her. Today's story. Vandal Savage beats Kendra Saunders, and Barry must hide from Star City with Oliver Quinn and a member of the team. Run, for example. The villains James Jesse, Captain Cold, and the Weather Wizard will run like a mad city at Christmas. Possible power. While Joe West and Iris know Wally West, Barry thinks of telling Patty it's a shower. The team is looking at Tommons, who can cut down on their time alone. Reset Flash. When Cisco Ramon got the impression of O-word Twain, Barry and the team did not believe him. However, after the attack, Dr. Christina McGee confirms that Reversed Flash is back. Quick way. Barry is working with Harrison Wells to find a way to prevent entry, and Iris is concerned about Wally's safety and is taking serious steps to put him at risk. Welcome to Earth 2. Barry, Wells, and Cisco travel to Earth 3 to rescue Wells' daughter, Jessie Wells, but Barry meets Killer Frost and the Storm of Death and rejoices. Escape Earth 2. At the end of the Earth 2 journey, teams compete to find Zoom Lair with the help of an unexpected source. Returning to Earth 1, Caitlin ran at full speed of 9. King's Shark. At night, Michaels of John Diggle and Arrow move to Central City to help Flash and the escaped Pope King. Route. Flash welcomes new City of Speed. Meanwhile, Iris has trouble at work, and the conflict escalates with her boss. Back cover. Deciding to give up Speed and stop Zoom forever, Barry returns on time and talks to his mentor and nemesis, Harrison Wells / O-word Twain. Zoom comparison. Equipped with a touch-on device, Barry thinks it has enough speed to block Zoom and persuade Wells and Cisco to open a gap to catch it. Back to normal. A powerful metahuman named Griffin Gray made a mistake with Harry to Harrison Beer from Earth 1, kidnapped him and asked Wells to recover. Chaos. When Zoom returns to Earth 1 with horrific violence, Barry Wells comes up with a dangerous plan to stop them forever. Dinosaurs race. After Barry left, the team moved to Star Laboratory. Strange. After Zoom released the Air Force from the Central City, Barry is shocked to discover that their leader is a Black Horn, 2 times Earth from the Black Canary. The race of his life. Zoom has revealed his true plans, and Barry promises to do everything possible to stop him at the end of a difficult season. Demo Part 1. Time traveler Rip Hunter gathers a group of heroes and swindlers to stop the immortal villain Vandal Savage. Experimental part. As things get worse, Professor Martin Stein travels with Sarah and Jefferson Jackson to meet a great man, his young self, to Rap's embarrassment. Blood ties. Rip and Sarah try to weaken Savage by exploiting their financial resources. Meanwhile, Leonard Snart and Mick Rory have returned with a jump aboard the Central City for work. White Knights. The team follows Vandal's journey to the Soviet Union in the 1980s, where he meets nuclear scientist Valentina Westock, but only Snart arrives. Foolproof. After some of the crew is imprisoned and thrown into Russian labor camps during the Cold War, Snart leads the group to develop a plan to free his comrades. Star City 2046. When Wave Rider collides with Star City 2046 due to a glitch, the crew faces an alarming version of their future, where it will not stop Savage and return home. Up. After receiving an emergency signal from a ship lost over time, Rip responded, even though he warned the crew that it might be a trap, forcing them to fight the pirates in time. Nighthawk. In the 1950s, the team follows Savage to a small town in Oregon, where he works as a physician at a mental hospital. Sarah and Stein take secret steps to uncover her plan. Behind him. With Webster leaving them stuck in the 1950s, Ray Lori Palmer and Kendra Saunders become a couple, while Sarah returns to join the Assassin's League and Ra's goal. Offspring. In an attempt to save his family, Rip takes the team to the future to destroy one of Savage's allies, but she crossed the line when the crew found out the target was still an infant. 8. Stunning. The group needs a hiding place, so Rip leaves for the Old West. When they encounter a criminal gang, Rip enlists his old friend John Hex. Last refuge. The team becomes the target of a deadly assassin, a pilgrim who wants to remove them from the timeline and kill their youth as superheroes. Leviathan. Rip takes the crew to London in 2166 when Savage is at their peak, where they find Savage's daughter and the means by which she can be killed. River of Time. When a team manages to capture Vandal Savage, his presence causes disagreement between them when deciding whether to live or die. Hot. Rip and Rory are very worried about the Time Lords, while Sarah takes the wizard and Senator decides that maybe she's still a hero. Legendary. Rip will return the team to Central City a few months after leaving so they can decide for themselves if they are willing to take the risk because of the historic result. Pilot. In Superman Summer, Carrot Ambers finally adopted her amazing skills to become the hero she always intended. Strong together. Kara's self-confidence as her superhero begins to afflict her until her new threat forces her to set her suspicions aside. Cat Grant urges James Olsen to be interviewed with Supergirl. Fight or run away. When Reactron, one of Supergirl's enemies, arrives in National City and targets a young hero, Supergirl's power is tested. The Cat is planning a revelation about Supergirl. Power cable. Thanksgiving can be ruined. Kara's foster mother comes to the weather forecast and Catco's whimsical clerk turns into a vicious live wire. How does he do it? Kara is dragged in a different direction when she has to take care of her cat's son, Carter Grant, while trying to stop a series of bombings. Lucy Lane arrives. Red Face. Anger enjoys Kara to the fullest during training exercises with Red Tornado, a cyborg commanded by Lucy's military father. One Day Person. Kara, who lost her power shortly before the earthquake, has to rely on her inner power and courage. Alex Danvers' suspicions about Hank Henshaw have reached the starting point. Hostile takeover. Kara takes her aunt Astra Zor-El when questioning Kara's belief in her mother. Her hat also threatens the Cat's position as her CEO. Blood ties. Kara has to find a way to save Hank from Astra's husband Nan, but she's trying to refute her claim about Cat's true identity. 4 children. Kara does her best to assist her wind shot when her father, Super Milan Toyman, escapes from prison while looking for her son for unknown reasons. Strange visitor from another planet. Kara must help face his painful past as Hank shows how to cause trouble to the White Martians, who are members of the alien race that landed with his family. Strange. When Bizarro, a complex version of Supergirl, tries to destroy her, Kara confronts her reflection in her mirror. In addition, Kara Cat's son, Adam Foster, is approaching. 4 girls who have everything. Alex, Hank, and DEO control the Kryptonian attack, and Kara is captured by parasitic aliens in a dream world where her home planet has never been destroyed. American Truth, Justice, and the Way. The Cat hires a second enemy assistant, Siobhan Smythe, at Kara's workplace, and the Supergirl fights the deadly prison master. Solemn. Kara travels to Superman's Fortress of Solitude, hoping she will learn how to defeat Indigo, a dangerous thing associated with crows in the past. Trap. After being exposed to red kryptonite, Kara meets her friends and citizens of the country's city, making her vicious and dangerous. Manhunter. John Jones revealed the details of the meeting between Kara and Alex's father, and doctor recognition from Jeremiah Danvers and Hank was accepted. World's Best. Supergirl has found a new alliance to help Flash come from another universe and fight Livewire and Silver Banshee. Article. When Nan and Indigo use mind control to turn citizens of a country city into their army, Kara must find a way to free her friends. Better Angels. Supergirl's biggest challenge is her enemies trying to destroy everyone on Earth at the end of the season of action.
It's all the same thing. Thank you for the registration question.